Hello friends, it's me again Bhanu, the writer at Stuff You Look blog, and I'm glad that I came here again with some video tutorial topic that might be helping you to the greater extent in seed practice. Well, in my previous video tutorial, I have given some quite good mistakes that you might be doing in seed exam, and I also gave some of my viewpoints as well as ideas on how to avoid such mistakes and what such mistakes causes to your seed exam sketching level. So, but I haven't dealt anything about the level what is required for your seed exam and level of sketching that is required for your seed exam, and how to start as well as the step-by-step procedure on how to learn the sketching works to make your seed exam a big success. So I was thinking, because lately I have been getting many messages or pinches from my friends or students asking me questions like, sir, I'm average in sketching, and can I crack seed? Sir, I don't know how to start sketching works, and something like, sir, I have been watching the sketch levels of Facebook group mates, fellow mates, and I see they were some kind of master level, and I think I'm not good at sketching or something like this. They started posting questions, and in spite of my repeated guide to them, I have been repeatedly saying the same fact that that much master level is not at all required for seed exam, but still people are are getting confused of what is to be done. So that's why in this video tutorial I decided to give some step-by-step procedure, or what you call my own strategy on how to deal with sketching, and what sketch level is more than sufficient for your exam, and how you can improve that within the stipulated time. And I have given my steps with some strategy or something called some time schedule that might be helping you easily overcome the above said points. So I guess this video tutorial is going to be one of the most important tutorial in my blog itself. So okay friends, let me start the exercise with some introduction to the sketch level that is most suited for seed exam. So before going to the strategies that I framed for your step-by-step sketching learning, I just want to give the level that is most suited for the exam, because I have been getting frequent questions people are asking me saying, sir, this much sketching level, what level is actually required for exam? And I've been getting confused because of the master level works in Facebook group. So this much level is required or not, like this they are asking. And so I just spared some slides for this section. See, these are some of the sketches that I collected from my internet, and these sketches have been done by somebody else. So like as you can see, these sketches are absolutely very excellent and very good. They have given very nice details, and I can say these sketches can outbid any other sketches. So, but what I mean is, this level of sketching is absolutely not required for your seed exam. This is somewhat master level, and you don't have to have this kind of level. This much level is not at all required for seed exam, and actually this is also not practical, because you don't have this much time to cover up all these details, give shades and give textures and everything. This is actually absolutely not required. You just erase from your mind that that much level is required, and you are not suited or something like this. You are definitely suited, and you can definitely opt to seed with minimum or average sketching level. And the level, I will tell you the level which is required in the next slides. Like you see the example, if they ask sketch a apple, you need not want to sketch this kind of apple with all the details, shades and everything. This much level is more than enough. I can say below this level also you can go, because see the shades are optimum, but still you can pursue that this object is apple, right? So just keep your level to some extent and don't go for a master level works. say for take this example, this is an example, and this is a construction process, these two are construction process, and I can say this much is more than enough, and I can say even this much shading, uh, you can skip this much shading also. You can give some shadings to the apples or the main, I mean the main objects, but you this much scale level is more than enough, right? And this is one more example from net that I found. This is a construction process, and you just make your level from say this or this step. Okay, don't go beyond this level. And see, these are some plain sketches with very good object textures or shapes, and once you see this picture, you just get the idea of what these pictures are like. Say this vegetables, you can name it or something. So what I mean is, don't think that master level sketching is required, and below average sketching level is not suited for seed. It's definitely suited, and you can definitely opt, and you just go for sketching. You just have confidence and move with faith, right? Okay, before, I just want to give one more fact about the seed exam, because you can see, if you have watched the previous seed exam paper, then questions like 50 marks questions will be appearing from design sketch, and objective type of sketches they will ask only for 15 or say 20 marks. So I think they might not be going beyond 20 marks, right? So why need to bother for 20 marks question with full details? Say I have been seeing people concentrating only on portrait or car sketches, something like this. But I think that kind of questions never appear for a design part, right? So why you are bothering more about this 50 marks objective question? Better bother much on this 50 marks design question. So it's like you have to prepare in full fledged for this 50 marks, and if you attempt this excellently, then say if you score 30 marks, that marks is somewhat good, and if you that will also help you to crack, I mean to get seat into IITs or something else. So you can just concentrate on this 50 marks rather than bothering for this objective sketch. Objective sketching is very time consuming, and you can't master it within the time. So the better go for this 50 marks question. Excuse me. Well, okay, you understood, na? So just bother for this 50 marks question, and this whole exercise, I mean this whole step by step strategy that I framed was based on the fact that you are mainly concerned about this 50 marks question, and you are less concerned for this 50 marks objective sketch. Although I have given procedure for this objective sketch covering also, so you just may go through it. So don't worry that you are not a master or something. You just go, and with your average sketching level, you are most welcome to crack seed. Okay. So let's get into the actual topic. Let's see the step by step procedure. So this is the first step, and in the first step you need to practice on simple perspective sketching. Perspective in the sense, perspective means the actual way of how things appear, how things are appear to our eyes when we see or when you pursue objects. So like this, like say for example, take these boxes or cubes. So these lines are converging at some particular point. So this is what is called perception. Means the objects tends to vanish at some point. So this is the one most important part of the sketching, and the reason why I start with this kind of sketch, because all the perspective line type of sketching are where plain line drawings. So it's always better to start with single straight line sketching rather than going for curves or bends or shapes like that. So I just want to say that you just need to master lines first. Master how lines are moving, how lines are converging, and how actually lines are aligned in respect to the given picture. So do practice this kind of pictures, and I recommend you to practice for 2 or 3 days this kind of take some examples from Google Images, and master this kind of perspective sketching. Say for example, this is a image, so this is a photograph. Actually this is a photograph taken, I can say this is a interior of a home, and you can see every single detail. Every you can take this sofa or this chair, everything appears with some curves or something like this. Say this edge is moving slightly, these both are meeting at this point. So every photograph further matter, or every image will appear in perspective, and that is the reason why I took perspective in the first step. Okay, so go for perspective learning, and just copy paste, copy sketch, take some, like say, um, okay, you also take this sketch. This is a very plain sketch, isn't it? So you observe this line as well as this line. This line is moving somewhat towards this line, right? So this is, even if you are taking a simple plain sketch, you need to apply a little what you call fact on perspective. So just practice this one. So say for example, you take this example, this image that I took from Google. You may find a n number of examples from Google Images. So you just take this kind of example and see how lines are converging. See, this line is converging here, this line is going here, this line is going here. So it's basically mean you are observing from the front of this room. Okay, so in this tab what you need to do is just draw these lines, just practice this kind of lines, just observe and practice this kind of. And you even have to neglect this drawing objects like this window or bench or something. You just neglect this, skip these things, or sketching these things, and just go for this plain sketching. So that will help you understand how lines are oriented, how objects converge or vanish at some point, and how actually perception, what actually perception mean to perspective mean to. So I bet, I hope this exercise will definitely help you with all the further sketching steps. Okay, so you also need to observe everything in perspective. Like say this is a normal photography that I took in front of my office, and whenever I go and wherever I am, I just observe things in perspective, like how lines are converging, how the shapes are changing, everything. So you just make it a habit of observing things in different what you call different or perspective manner, right? Okay, after you learn, after 2 or 3 days of exercise of play basic perspective by copy sketching, now we move further. You just practice perspective with objects included. Like in the earlier example, you just drew the lines, isn't it? So now you also include this what you call the objects that have been shown there. So this is also basically a copy paste work, and yeah, you need not want to worry about shadings. Shadings comes in the middle part of our exercise, and so you don't at all bother right now. You just go for plain straight line sketches, and curves will be coming in the next part. And you need to practice this for say 3 or 4 days. Say for the same example I have shown in the previous exercise, you also include drawing these chairs and this, and the most important thing, you have to observe how lines are converging. Okay, let's move to the next step. I mean, after the two perspective step level, you need to practice once again in perspective, but this time in reality. In mean, you are not required to take the images from somewhere. You are required to imagine in reality. Like say if you are sitting in a room, you just move to the corner, one corner of a room, and you observe the other corner, and whatever it appears to your eyes, and you observe how lines are converging, how things are converging. You just keep drawing, I mean keep sketching the same thing, whatever it looks. Just make it a plain pencil sketch. Okay, so like this you keep on practicing for say 5 days or a week, and by doing so, you will be developing your imagination skill. And of course you have to maintain this kind of stuff. I mean this step you have to maintain till the end of your practice. So because this is one important part for imagination, how you pursue things. So just go for it, just to go on practicing this third step, I mean sketching in reality throughout the practice example. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next step. Step 4. So, if you have observed the previous seed exam pattern, so you might have observed that most of the questions are centered around products or questions like say objects or comic strips, something like that. So, so it's like, for example, say they might ask you for design of a walking stick or design of a wheelchair or something like this. So what you need to is you need to know the basic sketch of that particular walking stick or wheelchair. Without that you can't be imagining your own idea, or you can't give your own design process. You can show that. So in order to show them or incorporate them, you need to know the basic sketch. So what you need to do is, in this step you have to observe things as well as sketch the basic objects or daily products, like say the same walking stick, mixer, a laptop, or a table, branch, or products, day-to-day products that will appear to eye. So you can go through it, and you can search them in Google Images, typing something like home appliances sketches, something like this, and you will get a number of examples. You take this and just copy them and sketch them. You practice this kind of sketches and every day for say at least a week, and what you have to do is you have to mind for the size, shape, as well as the proportions. So these are the most important part of the sketch. Even if you give very detailed shape, detailed shade, if the picture is not in proper shape, then it's totally wrong. So you have to practice, you have to observe and sketch them with appropriate size as well as the proportion. Okay, so let's move to the next step. In this step, like you practice in the earlier step, you have to practice drawing of simple 2D lines, two-dimensional line sketches, say like the sketching of these humans or animals. Just simple. See how simple this horse is looking. It doesn't have any detail or something like that. Even this boy, this child is looking very, simple, isn't it? So you practice this kind of simple objects for say at least 4 or 5 days. This will help you know the basic step of sketching. So this will also avoid you consuming much time in exam. Like say this is also an example. This say the same boy has been drawn in different direction views, but the more all of the sketches are in two-dimensional, right? See how ears, eyes, how beautiful this sketch is. So this is simple, right? So this car example is one more example. As you can see, okay, you don't need to go for this much detail. You just go for this outline and the basic shape and sketching of basic shape and everything, etc. And what, like I said, you need to bother much on the proportion of the sketch. Like say if you are sketching the human, then human should be in appropriate proportion, like the example I have given here. This I have taken from internet, and you may see this image in my blog. You can download there, and you need not want to make the appropriate, exact proportion. You just have to maintain the standard, more or less this kind of proportion. Okay, so in the next step, in the sixth step, like you practice 2D objects earlier by looking and copying into an already drawn picture, you now need to take a practical live picture. Say for example, you take a photograph, say this photograph, and you just draw them in 2D, and just put them in two-dimensional picturing way. So this will make you move further from the previous step. Like in the next step, so in the seventh step, once I assume that you already have some good knowledge on 2D sketching, like objects and everything, views, products and everything. So this step is a little bit advancement to the previous step, and you need to start practicing on 3D, three-dimensional sketching. Like say for example, take an example, take an object. Say for example, I took this aeroplane sketch that I have drawn in VSP, NASA's software. Okay, so take the same object and you have to draw them in different angles. Say for example, this is a top view and this is a side view, isn't it? So you also take the other views, like say this view from back side, front, left, right, and you take the same image. And what you need to do is you have to observe how things are changing, how lines are changing. Say the line may appear larger here, smaller on the other side, and circles may appear elliptical, something like this. So you have to observe how basic shapes are changing and how lines are oriented. So you just take some examples every day, and you have just to copy them, copy sketch them. You need not want to imagine from a scratch. You just need to copy them, and you practice this kind of sketches for quite a good number of examples. So in this kind of step you will be basically analyzing and understanding the perspective in every line, and how things are oriented or arranged, and how lines converge, how they are in perspective, and how what shape things assume after, say after moving. Say for example, if you are drawing a plain circle in a plain flat paper, it will appear exact in circle, but if the paper was tilted little bit, then you can see the circle will be in elliptical shape, isn't it? So you observe in every picture how shapes are changing. So this step is one important part for your further advancement of sketching. Okay, so I have taken the same example previous. So say for example, this is a cylindrical box, cylindrical utensil or something like this. So this is basically a circle on the top, right? But it's appearing like a electrical. Likewise, you need to observe this and sketch as it is. Let's move to the next step. I mean sketching whatever you see. I mean, say for example, if you are sitting in front of a laptop, I mean I am sitting in front of the my laptop desktop, and I will sketch just as it is, what is appearing to my eyes. I will sit in different positions. Say I will move to the left of my laptop or right or back side. I sit in different positions, and just keep on sketching whatever appears to my eyes. So this step will helps you improve your imagination, as well as put you draw an object or something in different views and different angles or different alignments. So this is one important requirement in design exam, especially in CEED, because if they say example, if they for example say they ask you to draw walking stick, then you have to show the construction, you have to show the different operations. So you it's like you have to you have to sketch them in different views. So this kind of step exercise will help you overcome such what do you call such things. So you can also speed up in the exam. Say for example, like I said, this is my laptop that I pictured in here, and I'm sitting in front of it, and I just drew like however it appears. Okay, then I will move to the back side of my laptop, and I just sketch what it appears to my eyes. Then to the left of to my laptop, and right side of the laptop. Okay, so in this way you have to sit and align yourself in different angle. You have to move towards, and you just sketch the same object in different views. You have to observe how things are changing, like I said. Okay, so see, many don't know how to sketch imaginative things and in different views. I have been getting the query, sir, I am good at imagining, but I am not able to put it in paper. So this is just because they don't know how to sketch the basic sketch, and they don't know how to show them in different angles, different views. So the above said step will be helping you in overcoming this difficulty. So you also will be saving your time, and what you need to do is you have to take some different scenarios. Say I took my laptop, you took some other things, say some example, some product or something, and you practice doing this kind of thing for at least a week. Okay, let's move to the next example, I mean next step. So now you have know how to draw in different angles. You just put your mind and just move some little bit advanced. So instead of laptop that I drew in the previous step, I will imagine some desktop, I mean PC, personal PC, instead of the laptop, and I will try to draw the same thing in same angles, like I move to the left and right earlier, right? So same in the similar fashion I will be drawing the same imaginary desktop but in different angles. So this is where your actual creativity starts, and this is where your imagination power exceeds your actual level. So this step will also ease you in overcoming the time bound, as well as help you imagine and sketch fastly. So as like I said, this is one most important step required for your seed exam. And so and the let's move to the next step, I mean the step 9, 10. Okay, let's move into the next step, I mean the 10th step. So as you have seen how to sketch everything in a simple plain line drawing, two dimension, you also learned how to sketch in three dimension view, as well as put a single object in different views. So it's the right time to move for the shading or as well as details. So just go on working for giving details to our already drawn sketches. You just mind giving very little details. You need not go for heavy shading or works like the pictures I have shown in the beginning, the master sketches. You don't need to have that much level. You just go on giving very simple shades like I have given for these examples. Say this sketch uh, is for multi-purpose walking stick that I did in my previous exercises. And as you can see, the shadings and everything that I gave was simple, but I can say reasonable. So this sketch is looking very quite good, and you can see I concerned bothered much for the size. Size is most important than the details. Say for example, this was a sketch that I did for my multi-purpose dustbin, waste dustbin for the CEED 2014 question paper. And as you can see, I have not shown any detail, I mean any shading for this picture, although I had given some little shading in the exam, but here for example I have not shown. Anyway, you can see even without the shades and details, the sketch looks very good, quite good, okay, isn't it? You can also pursue things how everything is oriented on these things. So it's very important that you mind very good, I mean you mind much on the size as well as the shape, proportion, everything, and then go for shadings. And you need not want to do show master level shading works. You just go for simple plain and little details, okay. And this is one example that one of my friends shared with me last year for the same walking stick example. As you can see, uh, she has given much priority to this shading work, but she failed to bother for the proportion. Like say this is a handle, if this is a handle, then this much trunk length is insufficient. I mean this is very less, isn't it? So even then she gave some mesh type of shading and everything. This picture is somewhat not correct, I can say this is fault, okay. So like most of you do, I mean in the jump randomly to the shading, I mean without knowing the proper level of scale, without knowing how to sketch, you just go on jumping to the shading. So that's a big mistake, I can say. You just don't bother for details until you master the sketching of proportionate picture, okay. Just first you matter for that, okay. Let's jump to the next topic, I mean next step, I mean 11th step. So after you have learned how to sketch them and how to give little or major light details, you step further. You now frame a new scenario. You just imagine a new scenario, and you say for example you imagine the same desktop that we drew in the previous exercise. And you now you have to do is imagine that the desktop is in different location. Like earlier we expected that the desktop was in uh, home desktop, right? Now you imagine the same desktop but in say in your office, or in your office table, or somewhere near your college room or something like that. You imagine a different location, and you try to frame or sketch the view. So this will help you improve further in terms of imagination. And of course you have to mind the quality of lines, size, shape. Like I said in my earlier step, you also need to mind on proportion, adding little or very less details to your work. So like this you keep on practice, you keep on changing scenarios, you keep on framing new scenarios, and try to sketch them with your own imagination. And this is how you will be improving your creativity in terms of sketching. Okay, I have been talking more about this object sketches and everything, and I have given very less priority to portrait or car sketches, right? So I have a reason, because portrait and car sketches, automobile sketches are the most time consuming sketching works, and I can say you can't master this within this time. And it's not actually it's not required to work on portraits, because you may have observed in previous papers that portrait kind of sketches never appeared in CEED, although maybe it have appeared in NID or something, some other design exams, but I'm much bothered about CEED. So portrait kind of sketches are not appearing in CEED exam, and it's actually you have to give less priority or importance to this. So you just can skip, or you can give this as a last step, I mean last priority. So instead you have to bother more for product and other sketches, like we did in the previous exercises. Next only you give priority to this. Okay. Okay, now we look towards the comic strips and storyboard sketching works. So you, like you did in my earlier steps, you have to practice the same. I mean, framing comic strips on the storyboards parallelly to the previous steps. Comic strip framing is very easy. Actually, it's very not difficult. Actually, it depends only on the story that you frame. That is more important. So in comic strip type of questions, much details is also not required. Like say we need not bother for proportions, sizes of the human, or shape of the human or something. We need not have to bother much about that. But the fact is we have to concern more about characterization. Means you have to stick to the particular character. Say if you show a hero in your comic, or if you say show a hero in your story, then you have to maintain the same kind of hero throughout your story. Say if the story you have to maintain the same kind of tone, I mean say eyes, same type of eyes, ears, and hairstyle, everything, the picture, I mean the character should be same as it is every time. And you should not jump, or you should not show the character with the different tones. Like for example, say this is the famous comic that I love the most from Tinkle, Sapandi character, you might have known. Okay, you can see this guy, this gentleman is looking very crazy, isn't it? This much trunk it's not practical, but it's really appreciable, because what it's important in this kind of stories is the story, or not the character. So and one more important thing, you can see the same kind of picture, I mean the story character is appearing in every frame, isn't it? So whether your picture is in proportion or not, you just mind for the character, you just mind showing the same kind of character throughout your picture. And yes, you can neglect, or you can bother very less for the details of the background. Say you can see these pictures backside, you see backgrounds are not shown that much important. This is one more example. And you can see, say backgrounds are not at all cared about here, except for the comic pictures. And you can see this boy's head is looking like a ball, isn't it? And yeah, it's okay, it can be done, but the same kind has to be maintained everywhere. No, I think you got what I want. And yes, you can go for stick figures also. Stick figure means figures with plain, straight, or single lines. For example, you watch this gentleman and lady. So this kind of pictures is also allowed in comic strips, but unless you don't have time, if you have time, you have to go for this kind of pictures in comic strips. And if you don't have time, then I think in the worst case you can go for this kind of stick figure type of comic strip framing. And yes, you have to bother more for the story as well as colors. This is called colors. I mean, what they speak, what they communicate is put in this kind of round bubble. It's called colored. And you have to bother much for the story as well as the shape. Okay. Well, I have covered a vast detail on how to deal with the sketching and the steps of learning sketches, and I think these steps will gonna help you in every respect. Now, I just want to put everything in a just like a thumb rules that I usually do in my every video tutorial. That jumping straight away to the detailing or shading works is a very bad idea. It's a very big mistake, and you need not have to do that. You have to proceed in a step by step process, like I have told. You first need to learn how to draw simple plain sketches, line sketches, and then move towards two dimensional and then three dimensional. And once you have mastered, once you know how to sketch things in a proper proportionate size as well as line, then only you have to go towards the what you call shading. And don't do the mistake like one of my friend did in the example I have shown of sketching things in with proper with huge shadings, but with no proportion or something. So you keep this mind in every at every stage, and you just concentrate on average sketching. Okay, let's look into the thumb rules. Okay, you have to learn perspective in the first step by just copying the things and copying from images, taking examples. Okay, then you move towards drawing perspective in by looking, I mean by sketching whatever appears to your eyes or surroundings. Then observe everything in perspective, like I did, like I shown in my example. You have to cultivate this as an habit, and you have to observe everything in perspective and start working on two dimension, like say for example take some objects, day to day objects, products, home appliances, human, and animals. You take this and you start drawing them in two dimension. Then you move towards drawing in reality, I mean take some real photography picture or something, and then try to sketch them in just two dimensional. Once you have mastered the way of drawing objects in correct size, proportion, as well as in two dimension, you move to the further level. I mean, you start working on three dimension sketches. You work on three dimension, but don't mind on giving shadings until this step. You just work on three dimension. Okay, and after you learn some, so you have got some idea on how to draw things in three dimensional, and you need to draw the same thing. I mean take some examples, say the laptop, and you draw them in different views and different angles as well as different positions. So this will help you improve your imagination skill. And now you have to imagine a complete all new product, I mean object, in place of the previous object. And then you need to do the same exercise, like drawing in different views, different angles, and everything like you did in the previous exercise. And then after you master this kind of practice, you just go move towards the shading and detailing works. Mind giving very little or what you call reasonable details, and don't go for heavy shading in any point of your practice. And now after you have done all these practice exercises, and after you know how to give product shadings and details everything, you just imagine a very new all new view or scenario, and then try to draw the sketch based on your own imagination. Then on the final stage, you have to practice car and or portrait sketches. And although it's not at all recommended to do so, if you have time and if you find time to spare for this, you just go for practicing these things. And you have to practice parallelly the comic strip or storyboards right from the beginning. These are very simple plain two-dimensional sketches and you can do that with with little sketch knowledge also, as well as minding very less on size, shape, and everything, like I did, like I said in my earlier steps. Okay. Well, this is my step-by-step procedure of learning average sketching, and I guess this would definitely help you in learning way of learning. I mean sketching, and this is how I want to end this section. And I am glad, and I hope you got some inputs, and I hope you enjoy watching this video. And this is Banu signing off. And you can get more from my blog stuffyoulook.blogspot.com regarding your resources and any suggestions, answers to your previous papers, and more. And see you guys. You know life's a gamble, it ain't nothing but a game. If you get it nowhere, it's a shame.